Hey, this is your man Tony over here on KWIS 88.3 on your FM dial. We're here in studio today. We're going to have guests from Spokane Anarchy Wrestling. We'll have Scott Rader, their head official, as well as the First Family, and some crazy character named Harley Hartson in studio after break. These guys will be here to discuss their local wrestling organization as well as their YouTube channel, as well as their history of getting into the business. So make sure you tune in. We're going to take a quick musical break. When we come back in studio, like I just said, will be Spokane Anarchy Wrestling. So stay tuned. This is Tony Boba here on KWIS 88.3. All right, like I said, this is Tony Boba here on KWIS 88.3 on your FM dial. If you guys know, you've listened to my show in the past, you know I always bring up subjects that I am near and dear to my heart. I talk about my Raider football, my Lakers basketball, my Dodgers baseball, my Kings hockey, and my love for professional sports. And like I said, wrestling is right up there along with the top notch. For me, I grew up watching it. I love it. Big, huge fan, and it's great to have in studio today. We have members of the closest organization that you can get to around here. So if you live in this greater area, this is the closest thing that you got to major professional sports. If this is the sport that you like, professional wrestling, we got Spokane Anarchy Wrestling Zone, the First Family, Man and Trash Man, as well as Scott Rader, the head official, and we'll be soon to be joined by the inner city champion, Harley Hartson. He'll be in studio shortly. He decided he's kind of that diva kind of character. He wants to stay outside a little bit, take his time. He didn't want to be seen walking in at the same time, so he has to wait a little bit.
I think he's got to apply his...
What was that?
He's got to apply his makeup.
Oh, the makeup guy, So, yeah, he'll be outside. So make sure, hey, gentlemen, make sure you give a shout out and introduce yourselves to all the fans that are out here on KWIS 88.3. Also, listen on the worldwide internet. That's www.myradiostream.com/KWIS. Go ahead and introduce yourself, fellas.
Well, I'm Jesse Madman Manson of the First Family.
And I am Jay Manson from the First Family. We representing it.
And I'm head official Scott Rader.
And me, your undisputed inner-city champion, Harley Hartson.
Nice, fellas. Well, like I said, a big wrestling fan, so it's great to have you guys in studio. I'm glad to be able to use the medium of the radio airwaves to get your guys' information out, as well as have a chance to be able to sit down and talk some wrestling with some local fans, not necessarily just wrestlers, because sometimes people participate and they might not know what they're participating in because it's cool. So being that you guys are true fans first and foremost, what got you guys into the local, I guess you could say, wrestling scene? Where did SAW, or Spokane Anarchy Wrestling as it's otherwise known as, how did that get up off the ground and how did that get started? I mean, the love for your guys' for wrestling obviously was first and foremost, but what made you guys get into the quote-unquote backyard instrument that they started, and how did you get your guys' guess organization away from that backyard calling and into where you guys are to where you're at today?
Well, it all started back in 2006. Few of us, there isn't a lot of local professional wrestling around, so we decided, we're teenagers, we need to stay out of trouble, especially with these trying times that we live in now, and we just started putting on small little shows in the parks, and just kept growing.
Nice. Also, so where was like some of the first cards held, and where was like some of the first people involved in SAW? Because being that I'm a big fan, like I said, I did a little research and looked up a little bit to see what I was gonna be dealing with. Like, was I going to have a bunch of rambunctious teenagers that thought they were professional wrestlers, or were they actual professional wrestlers that were true to the art and true to the sport as well? And so I looked up on the YouTube, and I looked up on the the channels that or the Facebook pages that you guys have, and some of the stuff, and I've looked and I seen like SWX did a show promotion. I see that there was just a handful of people at the first show. Go ahead and talk about how the first show went and how you guys brought it from where it was to where you're trying to get it today.
Well, the first few years of our existence, we consisted our shows every Saturday at Kehoe Park up in North Spokane. We just, some of us, of course, you know, that teenager rambunctious, not really caring about the sport, but there were a select few of us, Stephen Jenkins, John Bacon, Robbie Williams. There was pretty much, and myself included, us four really started taking more initiative into becoming more of a professional style than the typical backyard.
Right.
Because me personally, I believe backyard wrestling, what you normally see as backyard wrestling, is just downright awful. I mean, why would anybody put themselves through that?
Right.
We did have our times doing that stuff. I didn't like it, but you know.
Fad when we were growing up.
Yeah, it was of course, it was a major fad during the time. Everybody wanting to see people being put through tables and chairs and ladders and
Jumping off of stuff and
jumping off of and
Flaming cheese graters.
The more brutally extreme backyard
so
wrestling.
so from what I gather, being a true fan myself, I saw backyard wrestling as a spinoff of like the older ECW starting, the FMW back in Japan, their that extreme ultra violent hardcore style. That's where I saw like some of the backyard. So I took it as, and I said, oh man, they even came out with a backyard wrestling video game. I remember that was like the most awful thing I've ever put myself through. I love my video games. I love my video games, you know, and I love my wrestling, and that was not a very good mix myself. Yeah, it was an Activision game, yeah.
They dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah.
They even made the ECW game before that.
Yeah, and that was pretty bad in its own right too. But I did get the spin for the backyard wrestling as that style, that hardcore. Let's see how much damage we can do to each other. It was no sport. There was no art in that. It was just a bunch of kids like, let's hit each other. You know, let's tape ourselves having fights in our backyard and let's be cool because we could be wrestlers. I see like SAW is kind of went away from that whole backyard gimmick, I guess you can call it, and they went to a more of an organizational, like a structured type thing. And what was the big thing? I noticed a lot of your shows, or every single one of your shows I've seen, is free. I noticed that is that a big thing for you guys to give back to your local community, even though, you know, they might, being, you know, fans themselves, they tend to take things for granted. You know, everything's free and given. You know, do they ever take, you know, why was it free for you guys to give it to them initially, first and foremost? And do you ever see anybody cross that line where, you know, if they were a paying customer, they might not be getting away with some of the stuff they do? I heard a little something on that. I guess.
I think Trash Man's got something to say on that. So
Basically, the way it all came together is it just basically, we grew up. I mean, we went from being 17, 18, 19 up into, you know, we're all mid-20s now. To where, I mean, just 6-7 years can actually really, you know, mature somebody up, especially for this business that we're in. And you know, 10 years isn't a long time in this business either. So as far as the free show goes, yeah, it's giving back. It's always wanted to, and you know, growing up in the neighborhood that we're putting the shows on, you know, knowing that most of those people don't have a whole lot of, you know, disposable income, I just feel that it's a way of giving back. It's family, you know, fan friendly, you know, especially for free, and as in, if people were paying for tickets and a lot of the attitudes that people give us, yes, there would be some people kicked out of the doors, and there would be some.
So what?
being
So when you
hurt.
say attitudes, I'm thinking some of these fans get a little unruly towards the wrestlers, or is it like?
Between it all, management, wrestlers, and even other fans too.
We get fans that come up to the ring sometimes. They get way.
They
too
just
close
don't know
to
their
us.
boundaries, and again, we haven't really issued much of it, being the backyard and not really having areas specifically designed for fans. So.
Have you guys? I see. February 7th. There's a big. You guys are coming from the backyards to an indoor venue.
First indoor show.
I noticed that this is going to be the first indoor, so now you can officially say no more backyard wrestling. You are a full-fledged professional wrestling promotion that has a home. So how big was it for Spokane Anarchy Wrestling to be able to sign or to come into an agreement with an indoor venue? And being that you guys are indoors, make sure you guys let everybody know where February 7th they should be.
Well, I personally went out on a whim and called the guys at SWAX a couple weeks ago and basically just decided, hey, we're going to come up there and check out your venue. And I went up there and met with both the owners, and we made a date to go in, set up our ring, and make sure everything was going to go smoothly. And
Nice.
I called these guys and I was like, hey, I did it. And they're like, what? And I was like, come up here, meet me at SWAX, check it out. And I've never seen somebody's face light up as much as I did both of these guys.
Nice.
Because they came from backyard. I've watched every video. I've only been here a short amount of time. But in the short amount of time that I've been here, I have helped these guys out to the point where we're going indoors. We're going to have the biggest show that they've had so far. And hopefully we can pack this place out. And that is February 7th at Swag's Nightclub. It is family friendly. I mean, Tony, you can bring your kids out.
Nice.
We'll sign some autographs for them, give them the proper treatment that those places aren't getting.
Gladius.
Glad.
Brooke will.
Okay, let me emphasize that. The guys that are in the studio with us right now might not be as nice as the rest
Nice.
of us.
Well, hold on. You got to remember that I am a good person, and I have to do what good people do, whether I feel like doing it or not. I guess it's just something I have to be entitled to do. I mean, someone has to potentially entertain these fans. They have to, go out there on their limb, put their lives on their line, whatever. But as I'm going to cut you out there for a second there, Scott Ryder, as you were saying about SAW, how does this moment feel about getting into an indoor venue? I think it's monumental for SAW. This is the probably single-handed greatest achievement that SAW has ever come across and has the opportunity to say, now it's in the pocket. They are not outside in a backyard killing themselves. Now it's time to grow up, become that professional organization, local, family-friendly, professional wrestling entertainment here in the greater Spokane area, and they can actually go inside and do the craft as it was meant to be done.
Nice,
Paint
nice.
the art on that 18 by 18 canvas that we have. This is, quite frankly, the greatest feeling I think anyone in this room is feeling right now.
This is, besides being invited to KWIS to be on your show, on this great day, I mean, this is a monument moment for not only SAW, but for the guys who are sitting here beside me. This is by far one of the biggest moments that these guys have had, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Just for the fact that the fans actually get to sit in a chair and have bathrooms to go to.
Yeah, that's a
about
big
weather.
thing.
Let's before we go to our first commercial break, I like there's always, everybody has, like, if you guys don't know, there's always the good guy, there's the heel, and then there's always like the official. So Scott, being the head official, what do you think is the number one important thing in SAW?
Me.
It doesn't matter what you think. Sorry, I had to set them up for that one real quick for you guys out there. But make sure you guys tune in. This is Tony Bubba here on KWIS 88.3. All right, this is Tony Bubba back here in studio from break with the first family of Spokane Anarchy Wrestling. That's Man and Trash Man, as well as Harley.
Harley Hartson, good
There he
sir.
is,
Harley
there he
Hartson.
is. I got you,
Do
I got
yourself
you.
good to remember it.
All right, I'll work on that, sir. Number one, first and foremost. And then we got this other guy that I had to give a little rip to. We got Scott Ryder here in studio. He is the head official, so he is the one that gets out there and counts the big 1, 2, 3 for these guys. Basically, it's because from what I'm gathering, Harley here says that the reason why he's a referee is because something about has no
has no cojones, has no gumption to get in between those ropes. I mean, I would take you on myself. I mean, that's what good people do.
Keep
all
those
right?
words soft.
Right.
Friend.
Don't forget family-friendly events as well as family-friendly over the airwaves, gentlemen. But like I said, we got Scott in the side room over here because he can see us through. There's a glass partition. He has a mic. He's in the next studio next door because, like they say, they like to keep the talent and the help separate. So make sure that we'll let him through and he'll get a chance to come in studio and maybe grace us with his presence later. But let's get into this YouTube channel that you guys seem to really enjoy putting your shows on. I know a lot of people were talking about, you got to check these guys out, look at their YouTube channel. So I typed in Spokane Anarchy Wrestling and I got some of your bouts. But give these the listeners a little bit of a rundown on where they can find you guys on YouTube and how you guys came about getting that over social media waves and stuff like that.
Well, I guess that wouldn't really be a problem. I mean, quite simple. You go onto YouTube, you find the little search bar for those who have both their eyes or decent hearing or sight, whatever. I don't even care. All right? But what it comes down to is you type down HGPL11 in that search bar and you hit enter, and that's where you can find all of your Spokane Anarchy Wrestling needs.
Nice. So that's HGP11?
HGPL11.
PL11.
Like the loser.
Yeah. So that's HGPL11. I'm gonna get this. I'm a newcomer in the area, so hopefully I'll be able to use my skills that I have on this microphone and get the airwaves flowing with some Spokane Anarchy Wrestling. But why did you guys choose YouTube as your avenue of getting your message and your guys' work out?
Well, the main reason we use YouTube is the same reason why most independent professional wrestling companies use YouTube. It's a free platform to show our weekly shows on. Television, you got to pay a lot of money to be on television. So YouTube, free. Viewers from all over the world, not just here in the local area or just in the United States. We get best of both worlds. A lot of our videos are viewed by people over in Japan. A lot of them are higher viewed over in UK. It's way better we thought it would be way better to get a worldwide audience than just a local television spot.
Right, and also, I've seen a couple of your guys' Facebook pages, and I've noticed that do you guys get a lot of with the social media and the YouTube and all that stuff? You guys get, obviously, you guys reach a lot of more a wider fan base. Do you guys ever come into like, hey, I know this guy, this is a local guy? Do you guys ever have any issues with like Facebook stalkers? I guess you can call them. So. People that will follow you and kind of troll all and comment on your Facebook pages as if you guys were really, obviously you guys are professional athletes and wrestlers, and you guys are have lives outside of the business. I know a lot of people, back they used to keep the business a lot separate outside the business. So do you guys ever have any issues with anybody like that, I guess you could say?
When it comes to things like stalkers, well, at least I myself haven't quite had this issue, even though I could walk down a public city street and I can be like, hey, you, something like that. I mean, that's common, haters, hate mail. That's something that's very possible for us, but stalkers, I haven't heard anything.
No, we're not them pretty boys like our champ Rook. He would probably be more one if you ever get him out here to do your show to ask about that. Us three, we're more the ones that get the hate mail.
We would stalk a pack of wolves.
So you guys are not getting stalkers. You guys are saying you guys are the stalkers.
Exactly.
I guess you can say. So you're, and also another way would be like you're not following anybody. You are the ones that they will. You are tending to be the ones that are the leaders of the of this Spokane Anarchy Wrestling. Being that we have a title holder in the house, that would give a rundown on how it is to be able to hold a belt in an organization that is now moving from outdoors into indoors.
What more could I possibly want to say except for this? This is something that I've been wanting to do throughout my entire young career. I mean, to be admittedly, I will not deny my backyard origins or anything like that, but I've been trying this for years upon years, ever since I was a child, like year 2000 child, all right? And you got to think, I'm only in my early 20s. Ever since then, I've been sitting here trying to make something of professional wrestling here in Spokane, the greater Spokane area, you know. And again, I want to thank you for having us out here, KWIS. And what I would really want to say is, what does it mean to be a title holder, a champion, as you say? Well, it's a little different in my case because I'm the undisputed, reigning, defending, well over a year, I don't even care to count anymore, champion. Hey, paper champion, really? All right.
I've heard that chant a lot when I've been in the ring with you.
Paper champion.
The only reason why Jackson Bourne no longer has the championship is because the moment I walked into the door of SAW, I was the man who was simply better business. And that day I did better business than Jackson Bourne, and I was given what was rightfully mine, the Inner City Championship. So you can take the word paper and stick it where the sun don't shine.
And from what I'm gathering, that's probably a awful big space with this Scott Raider right here, because if it's where the sun doesn't shine, that covers a big shaded area from what I'm gathering over here.
Come on, Tony. Come on.
Like I said, family friendly. We'll keep it family friendly.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, let's do what good people do, and let's just stick with the whole family friendly part.
Okay, I gotta keep that remembering. That's family friendly. Don't forget, like I said, and that they've been saying, when they mean family friendly, I mean, if you go on their YouTube channel and you check out their wrestling events, you see kids of all ages there. You see adults with their kids. You see, fans, all over the place. You see, wide range of people. So make sure you guys know, on February 7th at SWAX, if you choose to want to be able to come to a great wrestling event, a great free wrestling event, you don't have to leave your kid at home. You can bring. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna bring my son, help him get a chance to check out some quality wrestling. Being that we're moving indoors and it's a free event, will this be a general admission, first come first serve on seating type situation? Will you guys have any sections that will be saved for like a VIP, or is there anything that people need to do? How are these people? Because being that this will be my first show to attend, and some of these listeners out here on 88.3 on your FM dial, that's KWIS, Plummer, Idaho. Being some of these fans out here will be able, the first ones to listen, how does your guys' seating arrangements work?
It's pretty much all general admission, first come, first serve. Pretty much, if you want a good seat, make sure you're there when the doors open. If you want to sit in the back, make sure you're there when pretty much show up whenever.
Yeah, so being this is the first time that you guys are going to be at SWAX. First indoor venue, first show that you've had inside. Do you have any issues with, do you see any issues with crowd control? Or will you have, being that now that they're indoors with facilities to use, wrestling facilities like you said earlier, there'll be full bar for the valid ID carrying adults. So make sure you bring your ID when you come. Do you guys foresee any do you get issues with this new setup that you guys are not accustomed to? Will SWAX have their own staff maintaining somewhat of a decorum? Will there be changes in the fans' policies to interact? Is there be a little bit difference with any of this?
It's more or less, Swax is providing some security. We're doing a little bit of our own to keep the fans in check as far as that. As long as we don't get,
Pretty much you drunken fans.
Yeah, the fans that come out of the dark when you have a bar available and alcohol. We'll have that all controlled. As far as our younger fans go, I mean, we got a couple guys on the roster that might come out, before show or after show and say hi to them, shake some hands or whatever. As far as the guys that are here in the studio, I have no clue if they even have plans to, because that's just how they are.
Don't expect me there.
So
these fans show up ever.
These fan fests type, this fan interaction, from what I'm gathering, is not one of the First Family's favorite part of SAW. Is what I'm getting at.
100%, bro.
All right. So don't think that if you guys see these gentlemen, they are extremely approachable. To a certain extent. So make sure when you're at this event, you see the wrestlers, I want you to say, hey, if this First Family is, give them the business when you're in the crowd. So make sure you get on them, because you know what? They don't expect no less. So when you see these guys, don't let them get off easy. Let them hear it. I mean, you'll see Scott Rader up there rolling around when he gets up there, because, hey, look, he probably can't stand up. But that's okay, though, because he'll just be rolling on the floor. So that's why he counts. He counts 1, 2, 3, but he stands up when he counts 1, 2, 3.
Okay,
if he gets down, he can't get back up. But anyways, Harley has something to say over there.
Tony Bova, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
good one.
Hold on, I'm going to interrupt you one more time there, Tony. There was just an instance back at our Halloween Havoc show where I got a little bit too close to the action with our championship match, and I took a couple boots to the head. But I have been back since. So I'm not as fragile as I may look.
Oh, definitely not fragile looking. Maybe
That's a fat joke right there.
it's not fragile at all by any means. So,
but then again, he hasn't come across paths with a real man, a real professional wrestler, or just a real man who actually has the gumption, the gung ho to take him out when he gets in my way.
So from what I'm gathering, Harley, I sense a little, just a bit of hostility. But from what I'm gathering, the champion usually gets a little bit of heat, and I'm thinking he's trying to ride your coattails a little bit. Is what I'm getting at.
He's been on me since the day I walked through the door. Since the day the powers that be put me in the stripes and put me in the position I'm in, he's had my number.
And you know what? That's what I'm supposed to do. Why? Because that's simply what I, myself, the good person, that's what me and my good people, that's what we do.
We'll see when the show comes.
And that on February 7th, we will see that, as a matter of fact. So make sure you tune in. This is Tony Bubba here on 88.3 FM. We're going to take a quick break. First Family Wrestling in the house, along with this guy over here, Scott Rader. He's in the other room staring at us. But I think with the next break, we'll bring him in. And the champ,
Harley Hartson, your undisputed Spokane Anarchy Wrestling Inner City Champion.
We'll be right back. This is Tony Bubba on KWIS 88.3. All right, this back in studio, closing up today's show. This is Tony Bova on KWIS 88.3. Just got an email from Spokane Anarchy Wrestling's higher-ups that be, looking like I might be involved in this February 7th show. To what extent, don't know, but make sure you stay tuned, because yours truly will be in studio. Or actually, not in studio. I will be live at SWAX February 7th from, what time's the bells open, Mr. Rader?
The doors are going to open at...
I said bell.
Oh, the bell time's going to be at 6 o'clock.
All right, gee whiz, geez, pay attention. Take it. All right, anyways, like I was saying, but we have to write this down for this gentleman, but he can't read, so that kind of defeats the purpose as well.
Hey,
but,
I'm special. Leave me alone.
So we'll just do the hooked on phonics. We have this cool Galaxy tablet here. I will write it down. He'll push the button, and it will tell him in Spanish. So make sure so he can actually figure this out. We'll get it going. But February 7th, we'll be in, live at SWAX. Myself. Hopefully, we'll have a good part to be able to see some live professional action along with my family, along with the First Family of Spokane Anarchy Wrestling, as well as
me, Harley Hartson, your undisputed
this guy again.
Spokane Anarchy Wrestling Inner City Champion.
Dun, dun, dun.
Paper champion.
All right, here we go. Yeah, so make sure you guys tune in, and we'll be able to do that. It's been a great opportunity to have you guys in studio. Is there any parting shots that you would like to take? If you guys would like to put anybody on blast, anybody notice out there, make sure you let them hear you.
This is beyond my limitations. I know I'm going to catch grief for this.
Which isn't very far because the limitations are fairly short.
Oh, Lord. Tony. I'm going to say this, and I know I'm going to hear it later on from the other guys. Mr. Sami Zayn wannabe over here, Harley Hartson, he's been giving me a lot of grief, and one day it will come back to bite him. And from what I understand, there's a couple of guys who have some parting words for Mr. Hartson as well.
Everybody should have parting words for me. And first off, just to throw one back at you, at least every time you try to insult me, you make the mistake of comparing me to good-looking and decent, if not legendary wrestlers. So you should remember that next time you try to take a pass at me, good sir.
If only you had the talent Mr. Zayn does.
He seems, this announcer,
Olay.
Referee over here seems kind of generic. Kind of
generic would
like
be
since he was speaking Spanish, it was kind of el generic, I guess you can say.
You could say this. I come
Ole.
I come from a background down south in Virginia. Mr. Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant actually gave me my first set of stripes, and these guys actually gave me a call and said they needed somebody with the muscle to do the job. And ever since
they asked for a man with muscles and they could not find one, and they got you. Where does that come into play? They said they needed muscle for this organization, and yet they settled on you.
Hey.
It seems like Mr. Bova here is out muscling you on the mic there, good
Mr.
sir.
Bova has made himself known, and I cannot wait to see him at the show just to kick him out of my ring.
Don't forget, this is KWIS. I have always been known, sir. And just because you've yet to know, you will be knowing very shortly. So, Mr. Raider, I have a feeling we will be in touch very soon. First Family, any parting words?
All I gotta say is that the Battle of Washington, February 7th, Spokane Anarchy Wrestling is gonna beat Northwest Pro and reign supreme in the state of Washington for live professional wrestling.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
'Cause you didn't.
Trash man, wake up. Hey, you. We got this. All right, whatever that was.
Back to sleep, sir.
Yeah,
Back to sleep,
whatever
sir.
that meant. I think the last parting words that I myself, the good person Harley Hartson, have to say for Northwest Pro, February 7th, you're coming over to our land. You're going to get yours. We will be victorious. We will reign supreme.
And I will be the one counting the 1, 2, 3. Be there.
And like I said, this is Tony Bubba here on KWIS 88.3 on your FM dial. Monday through Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. Tune in. Yours truly will be here. If I'm not live in studio, you'll hear some of my pre-recorded shows. And like my live shows, they're just perfect. So make sure you tune in Monday through Friday from 3 to 4 to hear me, Tony Bova, here on KWIS 88.3 on your FM dial.